Greetings.
Hi.
To episode trace of said podcast. I'm very tired today. I don't know why. But I am. I feel like I could fall asleep right now.
Well, you're about to have a long day today.
Yeah, I am. I've got stuff to do. But anyway, today we talk about YouTube, I guess.
Like just favorite YouTubers. YouTuber in its entirety.
And not just our favorite YouTubers, but also our YouTube history. Yeah. Our YouTube future.
Our YouTube past.
And our YouTube present.
Our YouTube days of future past.
There you go. I don't even know what that's from, but an X-Men movie. Yep, that's what it is. I knew it. I told you. But yeah. I mean, I guess I'll have you start because I don't know how. I genuinely don't know how long you've been a YouTube guy.
Fuck. When the hell did I watch YouTube? Fuck me. I think I started around like 4th, maybe 5th grade when I started watching YouTubers like Smosh back when they were like still really popular.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
well, yeah,
Smosh. Actually, I was like more around middle school when I really got into it. It's like Smosh I watched a lot. I wish I'm watching him a lot now, so probably why it's the first thing that came to mind. Jacksepticeye back when he was in his prime. Markiplier and PewDiePie when they were both like all three of those were like when they all three of them still hung out with each other.
I think I was a little before you because I think I might have been one of the first,
like back in like 2005 when it first came out.
Group of kids. Like nowadays, kids watch YouTube on their tablets all the time, which irritates me. Because not that I had it any better or any worse, but we only had one computer in the house, like one like PC computer. I don't think it was an actual PC, but you know what I'm talking about, like those.
Yeah.
It was like a computer with a monitor and then a keyboard.
Yeah.
One in the whole house, and from 2007, so I wasn't all the way back to 2005 because I was only like 2 years old. I wasn't watching it when I was 2.
Yeah.
But when I was 4, and I would come home from daycare, and I would watch. I doubt you've ever heard of them, but maybe you have. Sorry, I'm symmetrical in that. Stupid Mario Brothers. Have you ever heard of them?
I think so. If it's who I think it is, if they go by SMG4 now.
No, they're maybe they do.
If it's who I think it was animated?
It was not.
Okay, no, it's not who I'm thinking of.
They're Rich Alvarez and a group. They were popular, but they had a very small, loyal fan base, I'd say. Me and my brother were big fans, and I would literally come home from daycare, and me and my brother would race back to the computer to see the new Stupid Mario Bros. Episode. And that was sort of my first experience I had with it, was watching Stupid Mario Bros. And obviously, you know, also those stupid, you know the ones I'm talking about, the stupid internet videos where it was like those words that show up, and it was like SpongeBob dancing to like Soulja Boy music.
Yeah.
I am unfortunately one of those kids that would watch that. Stewie rapping to Soulja Boy's Superman or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Crank that Soulja Boy.
Remember that song? We're old.
It's very cringe knowing that I did that. But that is sort of how I got into it. And then my family got laptops because they were, I mean, I don't think they were hard accessible that long ago, but this is like 2010s and whatnot. So my dad got a laptop, my mom got a laptop, and then my brother got a laptop that we shared. It was like a little Chromebook. I actually still have it. And that's when we found Smosh, was 2011.
It's like right when they were at their peak, kind of.
Roughly, yeah. We watched the Legend of Zelda rap.
It's been forever since I've watched
that
video.
And then was hooked. We were like, yup, we like these guys. And then we watched the Assassin's Creed one, and then we saw they did skits, and we just, yeah. And then after that, it was like hooked. We were also into Julian Smith, who I think, and we'll get into this a little bit, personally for me is the best YouTuber of all time. But I'll get into why I think that later. Rhett and Link, we actually remember when the first episode of GMN, Me and my brother watched that.
Oh.
And we didn't think much of it then, or I didn't think much of it then because I was like 8. Well, my brother was like 12, 13. So I remember him saying, like, there's no way they're going to be able to do this every day. Like an episode every day. That's insane.
And now they're at like what?
Now they're not only doing an episode every day, but they're doing an episode and then an episode after the episode every day and a podcast every week. It's insane. But I remember when they first did it, I was like, that's ridiculous. They're not gonna be able to pull that off every day. Well, I didn't, but my brother thought that was ridiculous. They're never gonna pull that off.
Yeah.
Which I think is funny. Because they did. And it's easily like the most popular episodic YouTube show ever, I think.
Yeah.
I feel very close to you, but we got to keep it tight because of the short screen.
Yeah, it's like a little like... It's a little short.
Yeah. I literally lined it up so that the bottom of the camera is like right on the line.
Yeah.
So if you're...
And for our listeners, you probably don't know what the fuck we're talking about. You're just like, who the fuck are these two? What the fuck are these two kids talking about? We don't see no screen. We only hear you. But I mean...
Yeah, say there's definitely a screen. And it's
screen ASMR. There's a little ASMR for you listeners out there.
I'm about to sneeze. It's very dusty down here, I think. Because I'm sneezing like a maniac.
Okay, so I guess I'll go to my favorite YouTubers.
Mm-hmm.
So
I say you more your first steps into the YouTube industry.
I really never thought about that.
like you never thought like the first people you watched. You kind of mentioned it earlier.
Yeah, I watched Jacksepticeye. I really wasn't a PewDiePie guy, nor really a Mark guy. I watched them, but I was more of a Jack guy growing up. Like he was my guy. Like I liked funny screaming Irish guy, and when I started watching him, he was still doing Happy Wheels. Like that's how young I was watching.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Remember Happy Wheels, kids? You new kids don't know what the fuck that is. You guys have like fucking... I don't even know what the hell you guys have nowadays. God, I feel old saying this.
They probably have some pretty cool games, I think.
Maybe. I don't know.
Happy Wheels is like free now.
Yeah.
There was a time where you had to like buy it.
Yeah, but nowadays it's really free. Like I played a couple times on my laptop. Like I still do sometimes just for shits and giggles.
But no, I do think that's why I forgot about Happy Wheels.
I believe I started watching Jack right before he ended Happy Wheels. Like it was like I think it was like episode 50. I think it was like pre-green. I watched him around when he had the green hair and all. Like he was still like in his prime and like still the loud Irish guy.
I have to look that up. I don't think I've ever watched Jacksepticeye.
How the fuck? Okay.
Like I know who he is, obviously.
You just never watched a loud Irish angry man?
I guess I just wasn't really into that.
Okay, wait, I can see that. People always look at me weird. Was like, what the fuck are you watching? Another thing I always watch were death battles with Screw Attack and all of them. I think one of my favorites was Spider-Man versus Batman because of course I watched Spider-Man versus Batman.
I kind of remember Jacksepticeye.
Yeah. Nowadays his new content's like a little, like it's not bad.
2007. Yeah, wow, he's older than I thought for sure.
Yeah, he's been around for over a decade.
There's the Happy Wheels one. Happy Wheels 104.
Yeah, he does it every year. Like nowadays, like a year occurrence with like a nostalgia week.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy. Yeah. I never really watched him, but I'm not like, you suck. I didn't watch him.
Yeah.
I was more into like comedy skits. I never watched gaming. To this day, I still don't watch anything. Gaming, reaction, and I don't even really watch like people talking about stuff. I'm more of a like I watch a lot of stand up and I watch a lot of skits. Big skit guy. Shocker.
Yeah, I mean, you're really big shocker. By the way, go watch our new skit.
Yes. Time of this recording, we have a new skit called The Spelling Bee. Go check it out.
Yours truly is in it. This sexy mug is in it.
You do pretty good. I remember I was editing it. My dad comes down. And I show him a bit, and he goes, "Wow, Jameson's actually pretty good." Or Redgrave. Sorry, I keep saying your name by.
It doesn't matter. My name's out there.
Okay.
I think I've said Alex a couple of times. I mean, like, Aloe.
And I don't really care. For a little fun fact, and I guess we can get into it now of our YouTube names, where they come from.
I think we talked about this in the very first episode, but we can get more in depth into it.
Yeah, I mean, I call myself Aloe for many different reasons. In this area that we live in a pretty small rural town, for those of you that don't know.
We live in a place where we're not going to say it.
I'm not going to disclose
we're not
it.
Doxing ourselves.
Just because it's so small that if we did tell you where we lived, it would...
Oh, okay, well, where we live is not that... It's not small, but it's like not like New York or... It's not New York big. But
I'll be honest. Where we live is one of the smaller cities in the area.
Oh, really? I know we're kind of like one of the bigger cities in the specific state we live in. Because I believe we have like all the like most like we have like I think we have some of the government buildings, right? Like we have the mayor office and all that, or am I just talking to my ass here?
Well, yeah, I mean every city has a mayor's office. But we do have, as far as our county goes, I think we are I don't know if necessarily we're the biggest, but we're definitely the most populated in the county.
That doesn't surprise me.
So, as far as the county goes, we have all the county buildings.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think it's like between here and I don't want to say it because
I say our city.
It's like here, like maybe two other places I can.
Our city from end to end is only 6 miles. Now that's the extent to what I'm gonna say.
We're not doxing ourselves.
We'll talk this later. Just because. Yeah. Either way, we're small enough. We'll agree to that. We're small enough that it probably wouldn't take too long to find out where we live.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I think most of our listeners live here, but.
Just in case if anyone that watches this does not watch this.
Just in case someone in this doesn't exactly know where we live. It's a pretty small rural area. And my father, he's a teacher, wrestling coach, Hall of Famer, etc.
Jack of all trades.
Yeah. And so he's very well known in this town. So I was always just so-and-so's son. So calling myself Aloe Vincent was sort of a way to like...
It's kind of like a pen name in a sense.
Yeah, sort of to separate that so that people that only sort of know me don't necessarily make that association or only watch it
kind of like
because of my dad.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Stephen King son. Like he actually has written books and he has it under a pen name because he doesn't want to be famous because of his dad.
Yeah, like...
And like, or better example, Nicolas Cage. I believe his dad's a famous...
I think he was a famous author.
Yeah, an author, like he was in the movie industry, like he was pretty famous, and he wanted to keep his name away from his dad.
Yeah, and not that I'm ashamed of my father or my family name, but it's a way to sort of, so that people don't necessarily go up to my dad and go, "Did you see what your son posted?" And they still sort of do that now, because again, he tells a lot of his coworkers. But I don't necessarily want him to get in trouble because of something I post.
Yeah.
Right? I don't want anybody to draw that sort of association.
Yeah.
So I did go Aloe, and I chose Aloe because that was sort of my nickname growing up. I think I told you because my grandma used to say, that's that famous saying. I say famous as if everybody knows it. Nobody knows this saying, but I've said it before in previous podcasts and videos.
Yeah.
So I went with that, and I used to be AL0E because the 0 was sort of how you found me on YouTube. But if you just looked up Aloe on YouTube, you get like masturbation videos.
No, I got a lemonade video.
Yeah,
I will still put up like AL0E, and I was still. I think if I look it up right now, I was finding the fucking lemonade video. Hold on, wait. No, I don't want to watch Smosh. The 9/11 joke they made. It was fucking hilarious. See how to make
aloe lemonade. Yeah, I mean my channel thankfully is right.
How to make aloe vera juice at home.
That's nice.
Yeah.
But if you just look up ALOE, I've gotten like a lot of penises. I've seen a lot of penises, which I didn't think could be on YouTube. But apparently if you look up aloe, you get a lot of penises.
Huh. So
I had to put a 0 in there to make sure no one thought I was telling them, hey, go look up penises.
And it says it looks cool. Like just by looking at it, it's like, oh, okay, it makes them different. Okay, that looks cool.
But I just recently got rid of the 0 when I signed my name on projects. But I still keep the 0 in the names because, again, that's just sort of how you find me.
And it's cool looking.
But yeah, that's sort of how I go. And I don't care if people still call me by my normal name. I'm not ashamed of it. I mean,
like aloe.
Mm-hmm. There you go. So there you go. There you go.
That's the secret of his name.
There you
it's
go.
not really a secret, but I mean, it's not that deep. The lore is not that deep. So I guess we're going to my name now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
my lore is deep. So I came up with my name. Originally, I went with like different names. Like I think at one point I was Night Talon 7.
Night Talon 7.
Because it just sounded cool. And like the 7, because at the time I was getting really into Final Fantasy 7. So I went, I'll put 7 there because it sounds cool. But then I went from Night Talon to Redgrave because I think I said this in the first podcast episode. Originally I was writing a book and I came up with the name like in junior year for like my creative writing class. And I was like, you know what? I'll do this Demon Hunter name. I like the Redgrave so much, I kept it.
I mean, it's definitely cool.
Yeah. And it is a video game related thing because for those of you who, so this side tangent, for those of you who do not know or who know the Devil May Cry series, the original, like Dante's name was originally going to be Tony Redgrave. And yeah, that's where that name comes from. That's all I'm going to go into it because I'll make a video of its own.
And I actually do kind of like this dynamic because I think you and I, YouTube and content-wise, are very, very different.
Yeah, like you were more on like the skit comedy side. I was more on like the gaming, nerdy comic book. And I would watch some skits here and there.
And I'm sure I would watch some sort of game or comic book related video here and there.
But like I wasn't like our definitive thing. I think it was like maybe 7th or 8th grade. I started watching Smosh like religiously. But I started watching them right before Anthony left. Like it was around the time where I think if you watched their video or like their podcast, it was like around the time when you started feeling unhappy and that's when he left. I was there for the very last food battle.
I was too. I I started watching him religiously from elementary school, and then I got my iPod Touch.
Holy fuck, you're old.
In 6th grade.
Holy shit, we're old.
And it was iPod Touch 5. And that's when I would start watching him even more religiously because now I had my own sort of device. And then I took a small break in like late 7th, say 8th grade because I got back into WWE pretty hard.
Yeah, that was around when I got in WWE. So
I had gotten out of it for a while, then I got back into it when I met a good friend of mine who I always keep his name a secret, but I don't think he cares if I say his name because he streams. So
I think I met him. I think he was in our art class. It was the one blonde guy.
You've met him.
It was the one short blonde guy, right?
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was him? Okay.
He got me back into WWE because I'd been out of it for a while.
I've actually just started recently going back to WWE, but that's only because of LA Knight. He's cool. He's like The Rock.
But yeah, I wasn't like, it wasn't because I hated them. It was just because I started getting really into like other stuff and sort of took a YouTube break. And then I think around that time, that's when Anthony was like, I'm leaving. And I still always watched the food battles when they came out.
Yeah.
And when he left, I remember me and my brother talking, and oh my God, I have no problem saying it. I hated Smosh when Anthony left. There was just something different.
There was
their content was already dipping a little bit.
But then the second he left, it went from slight dip to immediate dip.
I hate all those other cast members.
I actually don't hate them. I like Shane's like the only one I really like. He's funny.
He annoys the fuck out of me.
I can see that because he's like a loud equals funny type guy. But I always kind of found him as like, okay, he's kind of funny. And I was watching some of the videos earlier today. I think he's kind of funny.
And that's fine. You know, I know people that find it funny, but I just remember thinking like these other guys, they have got to go. Like I do not find them funny.
And I think Ian probably found it that way too, because you could tell like a little bit there he wasn't even showing up that much.
Yeah, like.
But the second he started showing up, and right before Anthony came back, I mean, yeah.
Like it was.
I wonder if we talk about Smosh enough to actually notice us. Hey, Smosh, can you notice us, please?
Maybe. I doubt it, but maybe if we.
Maybe jab at them. Like, leave for 5 years.
like tag them in the video title and stuff.
Hey, I made this to get their attention. Leave for 5 years and then make your own channel and like spend a day with random people and then come back.
And I will say this: I actually thought that Anthony's channel was bad until he started doing Spent a Day With.
Yeah.
I actually got kind of.
What did he do beforehand? I thought he only did that.
I don't know when he started it, but for me,
I know he started the channel like literally shortly right after he left. Like I think
he sort of had it around the same time, like towards the end. Like he hadn't quite left when he made a solo channel. I remember, but he didn't. It was just like I remember it just almost being like there were like 2 videos on it. I think it was mostly for his view, his viewing. It's like his viewing channel because you don't necessarily. He probably doesn't watch or subscribe to people as Smosh because that's like a company now.
Yeah.
So he probably, I think he made his own. But either way, I don't know entirely. I could be totally wrong. He could have made it after. I remember for a little bit it was more like not vlogs, but they weren't exactly spent a day with.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember it was like, oh, like that's cringe. Smosh is even more cringe, and that's when I really was just like, all right, like.
I think it was like some of the videos when it started straying away from doing skit type videos to like more like challenge type, almost reactionary type videos, and like trying to laugh. Granted, I like some of the trying to laughs, except for when they had problematic people on there, like Carson. But they were kind of funny. Like I like them. I like some of the bits they did.
I wanted to throw up. I feel like you could tell a lot of times, but people were spitting out the water to be nice.
No, they were doing it just to be nice sometimes.
And
I think literally one was like a pity one. Like they literally just did it like ready to spit out, and it was like literally just a pity spit.
Yeah, it was. I know people that are like, oh, those are so funny, and I was just like, I can't, dude. Those are.
They were funny at first, but then it was like a kind of like some like when they would actually repeat some of the bits. It was like, it was getting a little old now. Yeah. And I think they even started noticing it too. Like say what you will about the cast, but they were starting to notice that they were starting to go down.
Maybe, but to this day, like I'll still watch the flashback with Smoshes, and there was one where they did the food battle, and I don't watch it because it's not just Ian and Anthony. Because I watched it for a little bit, and those two, I don't know what it is, but their presence annoys me. Their presence annoys me. The presence of the other cast members annoys me. It irritates me a little bit. I don't know why, but I think it's because I just saw how
and like you were there with Smosh almost at like for when they're at their peak. So
yeah, like
you were there with them almost at the beginning, like when they started getting really big. So I can see like from my perspective where I got in it like when they're like right in the middle of it. You got there right as they got up.
Like when they started to add the new people, I was just like,
yeah. But like from my perspective, I can see how you don't like them. But for me, like I got into them when those new cast members came in. So like for me, like that's why I like them.
And I just hated that they were like, we are Smosh. Like, no, you're not Smosh. Any after Smosh, you are just privileged enough to be associated with them. Sort of like you wouldn't call the announcer in Food Battle Smosh. He's made multiple appearances.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't say he's Smosh. When I say Smosh, you think Ian and Anthony.
Yeah.
I hated that they're like, we're the Smosh team. And I'm like, no, you're not. Shut up. And I guess if you talk about like the team, like they have editors and stuff, and obviously I want them to get the credit they deserve. But I mean like the faces of Smosh.
Yeah.
They are not. And anyone who says they are can sucketh the butt. In my opinion.
They don't need to suck anything of mine. Like I actually like a lot of the cast members, but you and me are different. We went into different eras, but
I probably watched YouTube earlier than I should have. I would never.
We both watched YouTube earlier than we should have. I watched Vanoss when he was like at his peak.
I probably wouldn't let my kid watch YouTube the same age I was when I started watching YouTube personally.
I think the good thing is that we did not. Were you watching Logan Paul at all?
No. Still to this day, I've never seen a Logan Paul video.
I've seen like 2 episodes of his podcast, and that was because like a certain wrestler I liked was on there, like Randy or. Not Randy. I think it was like I watched his Roman one. I watched his Cody one. That was it.
Yeah, no.
I still do not like. I respect him a little bit because he's a wrestler and like he takes it seriously. If you notice, like he's not bad at all in the ring. Does not matter that even though he's a piece of shit, he's not that bad. But that can be a different. Maybe we can do an episode of podcast where like we can do a wrestling video. I don't know.
But either way, that's my view. I think. Obviously, we can tell that Smosh is a big one that we both like.
Yeah, like I just recently started watching them a lot again, and I'm like I was like watching them in Good Mythical Morning earlier today.
I'm gonna pull. I figure now we can move on to who our top 5 is.
Oh, that's easy. Scott the Wise, Wendigoon, Cat Icarus. Scott the Wise, Wendigoon, fucking I can't say his name. Well, okay, Scott and Wendigoon are kind of tied for me at number 1. I think you've seen some of the videos I've showed you. The Scott the Wise, if for those of you who don't know, Scott the Wise is a gaming YouTuber. He has like a bunch of like commentary type videos. They're fucking hilarious, and I love him. And another one's Wendigoon. He talks like a bunch of history stuff and like a bunch of recently he's doing a cryptid iceberg at the time of us recording this. He's doing a cryptids iceberg video series, and they're really good. And like I think I stumbled upon his channel. Like I think I stumbled upon his serial killer iceberg, either his serial killer iceberg or his conspiracy theory iceberg. It was one of those two, or maybe it's just a disturbing movie one. It was one of those iceberg videos, and I was like, I got hooked. Like I have a lot of his merch at my house. Like I'm getting 2 more things of his merch as I speak.
Sorry, I'm messing with you.
Don't sneeze.
It says that's 3. Who's your 4 and 5, if any?
Well, I have another one's Cadecarus. You've seen him. He's the funny weird guy. He's another gaming one that talks video games. He's fucking weird, and I love him. Who would I think I was like, fuck. Who would another couple be? Smosh, especially current. Like right now, like with them, with Anthony coming back.
Oh, dude, that made me so happy.
I was like, I think I sent you a text, didn't I, in the group chat? And I was like, yo, we're so back.
Oh my god. And I've loved everything they've made since they've come back.
Like, yeah, like, literally, I was like, okay, because one thing I was afraid about, back to Smosh again, but I swear we're not talking Smash this whole time, but when they made that first video, I was half afraid they were going to start toning down a lot of their stuff. And then the second thing was like, what, they were summoning a devil to get Taylor Swift tickets. It's like the most Smosh thing that's ever come out.
I love it. I was like, thank God.
And like they're making like jokes like they used to make. I know you can kind of tell they're not as edgy as they were, but they still have the edge to them. It's like, it fucking helps.
No, yeah, that makes me so happy. Still to this day.
Another, I would say Jack, but I haven't watched him in a while. He was good at his peak. Nowadays, I'm not saying he's bad. It's because he's growing up with us, so he's not that used to be like that loud Irish guy that we all know and love. He's like a more, I don't want to say quieter, but like he's still kind of loud and all that, but like not really. He's like, I'm pretty sure most people understand. Like, he's not as loud. He's like not as energetic as he used to be. A YouTuber named Ryan Trahan. He's a really good one. He does like a bunch of like, I don't want to say, like he does like a bunch of videos. Like he famously made a video about where he would like literally go across he went from like California to back to like I think New York or something like that with a penny, and he pretty much like had to pretty much like go from 1 penny, buy like a pen off of someone, and then sell the pen to someone, get that money, goes to the store, buy water bottles, sell the water bottles, and it kind of be like a whole thing where you kind of like trying to like gain money go from the bottom to the top, trying to do that. I think lately he did a video where he went from Europe back to the USA, New York, and it's pretty good. It's pretty cool. And like I sent you a video of like his fucking hike, like when he was like in the back, like in a forest, and he like built a fucking hut. I don't know if you've seen it yet.
I watched a little bit of it. I didn't finish it though.
It's a good video. So if you've seen that video, that's an idea that we have, like a little sneak peek.
But we gotta wait till the weather's warm.
Yeah, we're not gonna do it. I think he did in the winter. We're not insane like him. That motherfucker's insane. He's like Mr. Beast, but less money, more like Bear Grylls type shit.
I have my top 5 written down, but it's a bit outdated. I need to update it. So there was a weird era. I always called it the iDubbbz era because he was very popular in this time, where YouTube was kind of cringy. I would say it was like
iDubbbz was around when like
the late 2010s.
Like he was around when like Leafy was getting popular also.
Yeah, like
fuck Leafy, by the way.
The Paul brothers, and like it was just
fuck the Paul brothers.
It was just a weird era where everybody, and Rice Gum too. Like
yeah, fuck Rice Gum.
Like when normally YouTubers were just really cringy, and I was just.
It was around the time when people were starting to do it for the money. It wasn't like, oh, they wanted to actually do it.
It was a turning.
It was either people want to do it for the money or people just want to be assholes on the internet. This is back when, I think right before the first adpocalypse. This is like right around the first adpocalypse they had. So, and that was around the time I made this list. But I should probably update it because I don't necessarily agree with a lot of these. Number 1 will always be Julian Smith for me. I love him. For those of you that he's done skits like Hot Kool-Aid, Malk, Racist Coffee. Oh, he's the one who did the Malk video? Mm-hmm. Holy shit. I did not know that.
Yeah.
I watched that like 1,000 times when I was young.
Mm-hmm. That's Julian Smith. He did Malk. He's my favorite because the quality of his videos was just unreal. At a time where most people weren't necessarily even putting out videos with that high a quality to me. It was almost, his videos were almost cinematic. And I remember him sort of being the first one to kind of do that. And he's very underrated. So he's always my favorite because I think he's had the most influence on me because I want to make my videos as cinematic as possible, sort of like how he did. So that will probably never change. Number 2, same deal, Caleb City. I don't know if you've ever seen him.
I think I've heard of him. If you describe the videos, I might.
His videos are very short, very skittish, like skit-ish, not skittish. But he cracks me up. I might even pull up one of his videos, which we'll probably have to mute for copyright.
We'll play one of his songs over it.
Yeah. But I'll pick one of his shorter ones. Here we go. Being a background character in Mortal Kombat.
X. This is literally someone who has an excerpt where she punches you in the dick so hard your balls literally explode.
Yeah. So yeah, and I can show you a little more later, but he does stuff like that all the time where he's just like, and for me, he never ceases to crack me up. So he was one of the few people. He was on Vine.
Yeah, I saw a Vine thing,
and a lot of times people they can't go from Vine to YouTube.
Yeah, I think Drew Gooden said something about that too.
That transition most people can do. I mean, hell, look at the Paul brothers. They were Vine. And they couldn't go from Vine to YouTube.
They were barely funny on Vine.
Yeah, they were still though.
Yeah.
But yeah, and he did, and he killed it. Smosh at number 3. And 4 and 5 is where it might change. Tobuscus and iDubbbz. Now, I know Tobuscus has a lot of controversy due to like he has like a sexual harassment claim, and
I don't think I've ever heard of him.
He did the Diamond Sword song for Minecraft. Do you like my sword, my diamond sword?
I was more of a Captain Sparkles guy.
So he never did Tobuscus. Interesting. So he was very popular. He was on Annoying Orange, the show on Cartoon Network.
Was he the one guy, like he was like the live action guy, or was that different? Like the one like actual human in that show? Or?
Yes.
Oh. Never mind, I've seen him.
Yeah. So he had some controversy because one of his girlfriends came out and said he like essentially raped her at one point. Yeah. So and he sort of gave his story, she gave her story, and there was sort of a case, and then the case sort of got dropped. And essentially what I got out of it is basically he's definitely not a good person, but I don't know if he's necessarily guilty of like just straight up like raping this chick. I think he's definitely guilty of something, and probably something enough to be maybe charged with something like.
But 4-letter R word, probably not.
So, but only because it seemed like her original claim, she never said that, and then suddenly, when he wasn't getting enough, she was like, "Yeah, no, he raped me." And I was like, okay, well, why didn't you start with that? I feel like, but I hate to question.
But that's because nowadays we kind of have to we kind of now have to question that because people have done that.
Yeah,
and it's a little fucked up. Yeah,
and with that, so with that one, I was like, all right, like I can still watch him. But with a little hesitation, and he was still making funny stuff at the time, so I still watched it. But then he started making some other videos where he was, I forget the kid's name. I think it's like Kyle something, but he started like, there was this kid, I think if you remember during the Black Lives Matter protest rallies, where he drove 6 hours across state lines and killed like 3 protesters with his AR and was innocent on all charges.
I've never heard of that, but what?
Yeah. And he made a mobile app shooter game with this kid.
Okay, fuck this guy.
Yeah, so
fuck this guy.
At that point, I was like, all right, that's
pushing it.
That's strikes 2 and 3. Like, I was already on the fence after your claims, and now you're doing, like, at this point, I was like, all right, I can no longer.
Like, you can't, that's like a you can't support them at that point.
Knowing that in the back of my head, almost, like, I can't, like, I always believe in separating the content from the creator.
Yeah.
Right.
But like with something like that, it's something fucking like impossible.
That, I'm like, all right, now like your content is about this, and I can't back that.
And like how like watching a lot of the older stuff, it's like you can't really go back and watch it.
Yeah, because
you know what it kind of leads up to now. Yeah.
So that one I probably wouldn't do. And iDub, same deal. I thought he did very good. He was very in the era where people were irritating. He had no problem humbleizing them.
Yeah, content cop and all that.
And now he's kind of a dick. He did a whole, in my opinion, it's debatably the greatest documentary to ever exist on Airsoft Fatty.
I never heard of him.
Who was very popular for being this very like weird kind of cringy YouTuber, and people couldn't figure out whether it was an act or whether this was just how he was. So he was like this sort of cringy YouTuber, and people were trying to figure out whether he was faking it or whether it was legit. So then iDubbbz does a documentary on him, and it was really good. It was really well done. And then him and iDubbbz sort of become friends because of it, because his subscriber boost goes up immensely. And then iDubbbz gets really into like the boxing matches, which I wasn't super into, but I was like, you know what? He's just doing it for fun, so why not? I remember there was a little controversy because his wife had an OnlyFans, and I was just like, whatever. Like, it doesn't.
If you're paying for an OnlyFans, go fuck yourself.
Like whatever. Like if that's between him and his wife. I don't really care. So I was still following him even after that whole thing. But then like there was this whole Sam Hyde incident.
Oh yeah, that one.
And I kind of like Sam Hyde. He's a little bit of a guilty pleasure because he's definitely a bit nuts. But
I don't remember that whole controversy. I know it was like, what was he? He was not allowed. He got kicked out of one of the events because he made fun of his wife for being on OnlyFans, something like that.
Yeah, well, he made fun of his wife for being on OnlyFans, so iDubbbz was like, all right, I'm not even going to post the documentary I did with you. So then...
And I think it was like he wasn't even allowed to be on the Creator Clash.
We'll get to that because this sort of leads up to it. And Sam Hyde actually is the one who got him into boxing. So he was like, I'm not going to post the documentary. I don't want to give you any fame, blah, blah, blah. And Sam Hyde was like, well, I spent... I don't think it was $15,000. I think it was $1,500, but it might have been $15,000. He's like, $1,500 for your thing. So I'm going to post the footage I took. And he does. And then iDubbbz posts his footage. And then they're starting to get into it. There's like a beef there now where he's like going after his wife, and iDubbbz is like, F you. And literally anybody who associates with Sam Hyde, iDubbbz like just was like, fuck you. And so there's a guy named Froggy Fresh who I also watched a little bit.
I've heard about him.
And he was going to be in Creator Clash, and I was super excited because I was like, oh my God, like I don't watch Creator Clash, but I would watch it
just for him.
Fresh. And then Froggy Fresh started training with Sam Hyde.
That's where that controversy comes in.
He was like, all right, you're no longer in Creator Clash. And I was like, oh, well, now I don't want to fucking watch it. And I was like, that's not cool. So already I was a little like, all right, whatever, but that's not cool. And then I learned that Airsoft Fatty was like, he reached out to him saying, hey, I'm doing a stream. Do you think you could like repost my link and whatnot to the thing? iDubbbz didn't respond right away. And he goes, all right, well, I'll reach out to someone else. And he starts reaching out to people to be like, can you post my link? And one of the people he reached out to is Sam Hyde. To repost the link.
So it was like, it was pretty much at this point,
and then
anyone was associated with him, it was like, okay.
And so he's like, all right, I'm cutting you off now too. And I like, Airsoft Fatty's like, what did I do, dude? Like, and after that, I'm like, look, I get it. You don't like this guy, but the fact that you're like cutting everybody off who even lightly associates with him, that's just not cool.
Yeah.
And so I've been a little sour on him because Airsoft Fatty is just one of the most like pure dudes. Like, I don't want to say he's stupid, but he is a little dumb in the sense that he just kind of is like, hey, what's up? But he's like a good dumb, like not like a dumb that he's like, oh, this guy's dumb. You know what I mean? Like he's not
one of those guys who thinks 9/11 took place on 2011. Like,
yeah, he's just like, he's 20-something-year-old man, but he's got like the soul of a child. You know, all of his videos were just him and his buddies like lightsaber fighting. Like he's just such a very pure guy. Like, yeah, he's done some like kind of cringy and maybe even debatably douchey things, but
not to the point where it's like
not because he was intentionally
not to the point where he's on to the fuck this guy.
Yeah, no, and not to. I don't think he's doing it because he's genuinely an a-hole. I think he just does it and he's just like, what? You know what I mean? Like he's just very pure in that sense. And so I've been a little sour on him. Probably not quite as much as Tobuscus or any of those other guys, but a little much where I'm just like, dude, like you need to get your shit figured out.
He's one where it's like he can be redeemed in a sense. The other Tobuscus, that fucker,
he's a little bit beyond redemption for me. Idubbbz, I think, is redeemable. And I was even still with him when people were like, oh, you're not as edgy as you used to be. And he was like, well, yeah, because, you know, I'd do something satirically and then I'd be going out and like these weirdos would be coming up to me and just saying the N-word as if I'm their buddy and he's just like, And I was like, all right, I can even get behind that too. You know what I mean?
Like if they're saying some of the stuff that he was saying.
Some people mature with times and that's fine. And so I was still with him there. But when he started like cutting off people that I was a fan of just because he's...
It'd be like similar things like if I was still... I'm trying to do a comparison where it wouldn't piss you off.
I mean, you can go... I'm not an easily piss-offable person.
Okay, so if it's like if I was doing something with Calvin. Like, let's say Calvin has his own channel.
I was actually going to say the same thing. Well,
great minds think alike, don't they?
I wouldn't just be like, you know... And it's a little different because I wouldn't say me and Calvin are on bad terms at all. We just haven't talked in months. And I've actually been thinking about reaching out to him, but that's a whole different thing that I don't want to get into. Because I don't want people to think that we're on bad terms. We're not.
No.
Him and Sam Hyde might be on bad terms. And probably, let me rephrase, there are on bad terms. But your analogy is still one of the same. Just because you do a video or associate with him doesn't mean I'm going to be like...
All right, fuck you, you're out.
Fuck you, like we're done. You know, to me, for someone who claims to start being mature and that's why he's not as vulgar and profane, that certainly seems to be a very immature thing to do.
Yeah.
So the Tobuscus and Idubbbz probably won't be on that list anymore, and I probably would replace them with Rhett and Link.
Because duh.
I'll probably put them at number 4. And number 5 is tricky. Because
if you can't find a number 5, I can give you a number 5. Wendigoon's on there. You'd love him. He does a bunch of history stuff and everything. He actually was if you watch a lot of his older videos, he used to be a gun tuber. Granted, he doesn't like a lot of his older videos, but he used to be a gun tuber. And actually, a video that got me into him also was he did a video on like JFK assassination. Like he tried proving the JFK assassination wasn't real. He did it as like a
probably ERB, Epic Rap Battle of History, would be number 5 for me.
Oh. I think I didn't really watch any of those. Like, I think I watched some, but it was like they really didn't catch my eye.
So I think that would be my new top 5 is Julian Smith, Caleb City, Smosh, Rhett and Link, ERB. Top 5. My modern day top 5. So I'll have to update that in my list.
I don't really have a top 5, so I started naming off people I liked.
So that's that.
Yeah.
As for our YouTube futures, I think we still both do solo stuff and we're still doing this duo stuff.
Yeah.
Which is fun.
I haven't uploaded my channel in like over a year, but eventually that will change.
I have 3 channels and a lot of people complain about that, but they never complain about it if Smosh does it. Smosh has like what, 5? Yeah, and
they have their normal channel.
Rhett and Link have like 10.
I don't know. I don't know about Rhett and Link, but I know it's Smosh, Smosh Games, Smosh Pit, Smosh Cast.
Mm-hmm.
Did I say Smosh Pit already?
You did.
Fuck.
Oh, time's up. Well, we're wrapping it up anyway, so you can keep going.
Well, we talked about Smosh pretty much the entire fucking podcast. So I mean, this became us riffing on. Okay, not really riffing. This became us talking about Smosh, and hopefully we can get their attention, please. We'd love to be on.
They're a hot topic right now. So
yeah,
I think in all, if you don't like that I have multiple channels, shut up. I don't care. That's just what people do, and I spend time on all of them. I think I post a lot more on AlloTube because I don't put as much effort into those videos. I just kind of post them. A lot of shorts and stuff.
Yeah,
more raw. So that you can just get more content if you're not worried about quality. Allo is the quality stuff, and Allo Music is all of my music.
And I still have my one channel. I swear I'm gonna upload on it maybe one day. But I've been on here, so
Just saying, I've been working with him, and Alan Cal is discontinued. So if you think about it, I only have 3 channels and 1/2 channel.
yeah.
3.5 channels.
Alan Cal is pretty much done for. I think their last video was really the 1-year anniversary of that channel.
Yeah, and I was going and watching. They were. I'll say this one thing, and then maybe we can do a podcast episode on Alan Cal if we want, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah. But in that case, we
if there's ever if the opportunity ever comes up where we decide to do it again, we talk again, whatever, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I'm totally down for it.
Yeah, I mean, like, really, so sneak peek. I'm planning on doing a series. It's kind of like the ask the question that they had. Where I believe that was Calvin's thing, right?
Sort of, yeah. We would. I mean, everything we did was sort of.
So I have
his idea. Originally.
Yeah, so I have an idea that's kind of like that I actually did pitch to them, but originally Calvin was supposed to be involved. I will talk about that next podcast episode where that's gonna be the Christmas. That's gonna be the Christmas special.
We're gonna do a Christmas special.
Yeah, that'll be. We might film that right after this. Well, maybe not right after. Like we'll probably wait till you get back, and either we'll film it later on today or tomorrow.
Yeah, and we can touch on that. But either way, we'll talk about that next podcast.
But just to keep you viewers and listeners and whatever's on your toes, just for me until I reveal it, I have something.
We've got ideas, a lot of ideas coming. So we'll wrap this up because it's we're pushing an hour now. Yeah, I've got places to be. Yeah, and so thank you for watching
and listening.
Yeah, I think we're gonna keep putting these on SoundCloud as well, but I think SoundCloud is doing this thing where you can only post so much. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But thank you for listening. Subscribe. Blah blah blah. Check out our new skit.
Comment.
Yeah.
If you want, I don't care. You can call me an idiot.
Put ideas for stuff. We'll do it.
If you comment something cool, we'll give you a shout out. And if this video gets to
10 likes.
Yeah, if we get 10 likes on this video, we'll do
a porno.
No.
Okay.
That's if we get 1 million likes, then we'll do a porno. 10 million bajillion quadrillion
10 billion likes.
Yeah, if we get the most likes ever on YouTube,
porno. We'll make a porno. Not with each other, but we'll make one.
We'll try and do it with Riley Reid. Yeah. My family watches these.
I think mine do too. Let's end it before we say something stupid. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.